Do all-in-one polishes just fill in swirls, or can they actually correct, meaning removing swirls? Let's find out. I'm going to do a test here on this black BMW hood. No, it's a trunk. And we're going to test a few things out. So stick with me, because this has been a weird controversy without anybody actually doing testing on it and giving any valid proof. So let's prove it once and for all. We have been using all-in-one polishes like 3D Speed and Vonix Blend for many years now. In fact, 3D Speed has been a staple in our mobile detailing business, and we used to do paint enhancements out in the full sun on black cars using this product and got incredible results, and actually removing about 50% of the swirls, which is unheard of for these types of products, especially when people leave reviews on this product especially. Now I know it says HD Speed, this is an old bottle, but it's back to 3D Speed again. It was 3D Speed originally, then HD Speed, and then it's back to 3D Speed. But that's a whole other story. But you know what this product is. It is a very, very popular product among detailers, and especially among mobile detailers. The controversy was, this doesn't remove swirls, it just fills them in, and once the car is washed, those swirls reappear. Was that really true, or was it simply being used incorrectly? I'm going to show you how to use the product correctly also. So let's get into it. Now, I'm going to use both products just for the sake of experimenting, and then I'm going to use a paint cleanser, so throwback, from Shine Supply. You can use any panel prep you want. I've used Geon Prep, I've used the G-Technic stuff because it's really strong, and this is going to remove any of the protection qualities on there, especially right away, because letting these products sit, they will cure and actually get better protection within a few hours. But if you wipe it right away, you remove any of the filler properties or anything that's on there. So we're going to use this to wipe it down. And if you are still skeptical on that, well then maybe we'll just use a degreaser also on the paint. And of course I'm going to polish this all out and finish it when I'm done, but I'm going to experiment on this trunk lid right now. So here's what the paint looks like before. I'm going to try to do this in real time without any cuts on it, so bear in mind I'll be putting the camera on a tripod. But this is what the paint looks like before. So now I'm going to mount this on the tripod and zoom in just a little bit. And I'm going to put like 4p to dime size drops of 3D Speed on a brand new yellow Rupes pad. And let's do this section right here. Sometimes this tape gets in the way and I tried putting it down and I splattered a little bit, but whatever, that's totally fine. Now you notice how long that took. I put very minimal pressure and I went relatively slow. Not super slow, not super fast, just right in between. And these are the results you're going to get. So you see that's before and that's after. That's a huge difference. Now again, this paint has a lot of other weird imperfections in it that I can't get out. All that weird pockmarking in the paint, we're not striving to get that out. So we're really going for the swirls. But look at that. Now this again is going to depend on the type of paint you're working on, whether it's hard or soft. So that will make a difference. But that didn't take long at all. Now, is that truly removed? Well, let's test it out. I'm going to grab the throwback and a fresh towel. Let's grab a fresh towel here. Actually, I don't want to use that towel. I'm going to use this towel. This is what happens when your cabinets are full of towels. Okay, So I have that towel there, and I'm going to spray this. I usually don't do this, but I'm going to spray this right onto the paint. This is a pretty strong solution. Basically is kind of like a degreaser. And let's see if that made a difference. Nope, no difference. So did it fill in swirls? No, it didn't. Let's do it again just for good measure. Nope. Alright, just for experiment's sake, I'm going to get some Geon Prep. I know that's pretty strong stuff. And just pure water here, distilled water. Because I want to see if it will bead up or anything on the paint. So again, Geon Prep. I love the smell of Geon Prep. It smells so nice. Nope, swirls are still gone. Not filled in. All right. Just for the sake, we'll see. Does it bead up like it has protection on it? I mean, it beads up. Is that necessarily the protection? No, not really. Because I didn't do anything to this panel here, and it was flat when I was washing it. So that's the flat paint. I didn't polish there either. So it's definitely beating up a little bit more there. So protection could still be there, but that doesn't necessarily mean filling properties. So I'm going to dry all of this. And let's go with a really strong degreaser. So this is Vexus from Vonix. This is a wheel and engine cleaner. This is pretty strong stuff. I'm going to get a separate towel. I'm going to spray it on the towel. And I'm not using the best towel here either. I'm not using the nicest towel, because I don't really need to. I'm going to repolish this area, so I'm not worried about that. This is a really strong wheel and tire cleaner, degreaser basically. All right, did that do it? No, it didn't. But that killed any of the protection that was on there. So it's not beading at all. It's completely dead. There's some residue on there still, but that left it completely dead. Let's just test it again. With the residue off, it's beading up a little bit more. Wow, this protection's actually pretty decent. Not bad. So even with that strong tire cleaner, yeah, it still feels really good. But let's see if swirls have come back. Now it's all smeary now. There we go. I'm going to wipe it with this towel because it left some smeariness on there. But did swirls come back? No. So it still looks good. The swirls are not coming back. They're not reappearing like people think. Now, I mean, I've gone through preps, I've gone through degreasers. It still kind of beads up because the protection is actually doing really well, even though it was just applied. That's impressive. So that's 3D Speed. And 3D Speed isn't really known for its long-term durability, but at first, I mean, yeah, it was still beating water. No swirls are coming back. Look how nice the paint looks after kind of abusing it like that. So after the first wash, no, it's not going to go away, and swirls don't return. Now, why is that? Let me break this down for you. I'm going to put you back on the tripod, and let's discuss this. Because how am I getting good results like that with just an all-in-one using a yellow Rupes pad? Now, we have to remember that it is not always about product. It is about technique. It's about how you use the product. Now, 3D Speed and those all-in-one polishes, people have been using them incorrectly. They're applying them with a soft pad and just putting it on the paint like they're applying a wax or a sealant, and then expecting miracles, expecting that to remove imperfections and swirls and all of that, when that's not the case. It's not necessarily the product doing that on its own. It needs the mechanical action of the polisher to actually put to work the polishing attributes of those said products. So 3D Speed, when used like a polish, working it in, a little bit of pressure, a little bit more time, if you slow it down a lot, like you're compounding, like you're cutting, you're going to get even more cutting ability from it. And it's not necessarily the product. It's the combination of the product and the mechanical action of the pad itself. So it's those two things in conjunction, and then your technique, slowing it down, putting a teeny bit of pressure, and these are the results. Now, again, I mean, I just kind of put it through a little torture test here, and the paint still feels super smooth, and it is still protected, like it's beating up even after using the degreaser on it. So I'm impressed. I've actually never tortured it that much, but for this experiment's sake, I was just trying to put strong products on there to try to kill the beading and kill the protective qualities, and it's great. Now, the question is, will those protective qualities wear out like they will in a couple of months and then the swirls return? Again, that's not really how it works. It's not filling in like that so much that you're going to get the swirls returning back like that. Because I know, I've worked on vehicles and they've come back after I've used HD Speed or Blend, and they still look incredible. None of the swirls returned like they once did. Yeah, you're going to get some light swirls from just washing it and drying it. It's inevitable, especially with dark colors. But it didn't look like the way when it first came in. So, no. All-in-one products can correct if used properly. They don't just fill. Do they have some filling abilities? Yes, possibly, but I haven't really seen that to be a major factor in using the product or not using the product. So use the product correctly, and you will be very impressed. Now, I'm going to remove this tape, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Vonix Blend, and on this next little section here, and let's put it through its little torture test as well and see what happens. Now, I just blew out the pad. I'm not worried about a little bit of contamination from 3D Speed. It doesn't matter. These formulations are so similar as far as their polishing attributes. This just has ceramic in it. So it's a little bit different of a protective formulation, but that really doesn't make a difference to me. And it's really not going to make a difference polishing either. So same technique and same speed, same pressure, pretty much the same amount of passes as well. It's my standard procedure, and let's look at it. All right, so before and after, and then over here. Pretty much the same. There's a little bit more defects here. It's just there's more defects on that side than this side. But still, an incredible job. So from that to that, I'd say that's the same results. There's more defects here. There's deeper scratches and other little marks here. So you can clearly see it's making a big difference. Now let's go through some of the little torture testing and just kind of see what type of effects we can get from this. So first, I'm going to use the strong degreaser. So I'm going to use the Vexus again from Vonix. And again, I'm not doing this for the sake of torture testing. I'm doing this for the sake of trying to remove the product as much as I can to see if it has filling properties. And I'm going to use some of the throwback as the panel prep. Maybe remove any of that residue, because strong APCs and cleaners like that will leave residue behind. And does it bead? Oh, interesting. I may have killed all the beading. Yeah, all right, interesting. Let's see if maybe just drying it with this towel makes a difference. Again, it's sometimes the residue that lingers on the paint that masks hydrophobics. And is that the case? Yeah, it is. So it's back to beading. Wow, nice. Okay, so let's go in for a closer look. Again, that's before and then after. Interesting. Okay. So, I mean, using strong cleaners like that degreaser, that's not how you're normally going to wash your vehicle. So, of course, it's going extremely aggressive here. But that's kind of mimicking really, really strong cleaners, like putting it through a car wash. So even within a few washes, that protection is still going to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's pretty hardy. It's really good. So I'm still thinking usually those products, I've seen them go a few months. Not like 6 months necessarily, but a few months. 2 to 3, maybe 4. And again, that's on a daily driver, basically, or a well-maintained vehicle. A vehicle that customers actually wash on a regular basis and wash properly. Now, if they're just taking it to car washes, I mean, there's no guarantee there. Who knows what they're using. And if they're going there every week or every 2 weeks, you're going to wear away protection like crazy going through those car washes. So, huge difference between these two. Again, 3D Speed, Blend, they did the same job. Blend, you're going to get, they claim 4 months out of, where Speed doesn't really say. But I've seen it go like 2 to 3 months. But the correction ability is there. You just have to use the products correctly. So let's do the rest of it here with Blend. And again, I'll just keep the camera on. Let me just make sure that it's focused correctly here on what I want to do. So right there. And we're going to polish this section. And I might just go into this as well, just to make sure everything is good. Now with all-in-one polishes too, they're very forgiving. You can work large sections. So I'll do this section, and then I'm just going to buzz over the other section and just make sure everything is evened out. Now this is how much pressure I'm putting. You can hear the difference. It's almost like just making sure that the machine balances itself out. So here it's fine, but it's just kind of hovering. Put a little bit, and it kind of stabilizes itself a little bit better, and you're going to get more cut. So the polishing technique does make a big difference when using any products. Man, that looks good. Plus, I did want to go back over this section of the trunk because I did put it through some torture testing, and I want to get all of that off the paint and repolish it basically and reapply that protection back onto it so that the whole trunk is evened out. All right, that looks incredible. So now, remember what it looked like before, right? Yeah, this is a paint enhancement. We're not going for full correction, but this is our typical enhancements, improving the quality of the paint. I mean, it looks incredible, despite the weird little pock marks in it. Yeah, that's an all-in-one polish. That is Vonix Blend. And again, 3D Speed does the same thing. Incredible. Now, I can also add a little bit more protection by using its counterpart, or its partner, I should say, their blend, basically as a spray sealant. So let's do that. I'm going to put you back on the stand here. I apologize for all this back and forth, but in order to make no cuts, that's what I have to do. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. I like to spray this onto the towel. I think I get better control out of it. And a quick application. Don't over apply, just enough. Man, it increases the slickness, it increases the gloss. Now both of these products, the blend products, do claim 4 months of protection each. You don't combine those. It's not 4 plus 4. It's kind of an average. So I'm going to think maybe 5 to 6 months respectively for, you know, putting one layer on top of the other. Now again, protection really depends on how well the vehicle is maintained. It's not really about the product itself. Even with ceramic coatings, that is really just dependent on how they are maintained. I have seen coatings not fare very well because the customer just doesn't do anything to them, doesn't even wash them, doesn't do anything to them, and the coating took a huge hit. Mostly because it was just clogged, but still, it wasn't looking that well. And after a pretty heavy deconning, I was able to bring it back to about 90%, but the damage was done. So, you know, that's kind of the moral of the story is proper maintenance is key to making any product last long. So in conclusion, do these products just fill in swirls? No, they don't if used properly. Use them like a polish. Work them into the paint. Use the appropriate pads if you need to. You can even use microfiber discs or Eurofiber discs with these to get a little bit more cut out of them, and they finish really, really well. So you can actually just use those pads and usually get away with it and not have to worry about doing a final polish with it at all, because these are supposed to be a one-step solution, an all-in-one solution with protection built in. So after you're done with it, then you can top it with the spray sealant or whatever you want. These make the job so much easier. In this case, we used blend for the entire vehicle and then topped it with the blend, here it is, the blend ceramic spray sealant. So those two go hand in hand and they work incredibly well. Amazing gloss, amazing slickness. So again, if you have any questions about these products, or if you have used them and found success with them, let me know down below. Or if you haven't, perhaps figure out why. What pad did you use? What technique did you use? All those things come into play. So when people say, no, these products just fill and they, the next couple of washes they rinse away, have you personally seen that? Did you use them correctly? Because that's the bottom line. And I have found these products to work incredibly well without just filling, but actually doing correction and actually sealing the paint really well. Now, if you want to see the full video on us working on this black BMW, from the washing and the deconning steps to the rest of the polishing steps, then check out this video right here. Hope you enjoy it.